Hello, Shane Van Fleet, Loveland Sales Manager, Western Illinois Division. We're getting ready to start thinking about some early application of fungicide on these crops. I want to talk to you about a few things we're seeing, some things we can do to protect our investment in this crop as we move into that stage. We've had a lot of wet weather here in central part of Illinois, in excess of 6 to 8 inches in some places. So we know that we've set the stage for potential for disease out here, right? We have to protect this crop. We've got money invested in it. We got a good potential here in this crop, but we do have to protect it and finish it out. Been doing a lot of tissue tests, and we see that boron, manganese, potassium have been very deficient this year. We can address those at this early fungicide pass, and I think we need to think about doing it. The other thing we've been seeing is getting a lot of calls about yellow spots in this corn and soybeans. What can we do to help photosynthesize these plants and help get that plant back to turning green, right? And photosynthetic energy in that plant with chlorophyll. So I'm gonna talk to you about a couple products today. Boron being our #1 most deficient. We're seeing that at about 80% deficiency in our crops right now. We got several options. A couple of our best options are React's boron with a carbon humic component to help drive that into the plant. Nutrien boron has been a flagship product for many years. It's going to help that metabolize that product and move that a little ways in the plant. We know boron's not a mobile nutrient, but if we can move that to some new foliage just a little bit, it's a big help, big ask, big lift. So we got them two options. For potassium, we've got Locomotive and React's K, two phenomenal options that we need to address potassium deficiency in this corn. I promise you, your tissue tests are going to say you're potassium deficient real soon here. If not now, this corn's taking up more potassium per day than nitrogen. So we have to make sure we have that potassium in there. Essential, right, for water movement within that plant, all the nutrients that go with it. Grain fill especially, we're going to need that potassium, so let's make sure we're addressing that. If we want to address the chlorophyll in these plants, there's 5 essential nutrients. It's very essential for the photosynthetic process in a plant. Boron, copper, iron, manganese, moly, and zinc. All 6 of them in balance help create photosynthesis in a plant, right? Help move chlorophyll in that plant and green it up. There's a reason we have products with all 6 of those in there. We got 2 great options. We got Nutrien Complete, which has been around for a long time, does a phenomenal job of dressing and balancing those 6 nutrients we need for photosynthesis in a plant. We have a new product out, React Select Plus. So it has all those in it, plus a 2% sulfur, plus a carbon humic delivery system within there. Either one of those are going to be a great options to get these plants or these spots in the field that are saturated, low on oxygen, get that photosynthetic process going again. So if you want to address that. The other couple products I wanted to talk about today is Radiate Next and Terramar. Radiate has been around for a long time. We've got new Radiate Next, IBA, kynoton, GABA, and choline chloride. IBA is going to stimulate root growth. Get asked all the time, why do I need root growth when I get to tasseled corn? I'm not producing any more roots. It's all about the hair roots at that point. Your hair roots are dying off every 7 to 10 days and need to regenerate. So that IBA portion in there is stimulating the hormones in that plant to shoot more hair roots so we can mine more nutrients out of the soil and more water if it ever does dry out, which I'm sure it will here at some point, and we'll be glad we had that in there August and July. So we got IBA, kynoton, GABA, and choline chloride. GABA and choline chloride is all about stress mitigation, helping enlarge these cells, right? So these solar panels, so we can get more moisture in there. With that, we're going to run Terramar with that also. So Terramar has done a great job on abiotic stresses along with Radiate. We know right now our abiotic stress is too cold. So that 1-2 punch with those 2 products are really going to help offset the stress this plant's going through. The other thing Terramar is going to do that we recently discovered is elevate sucrose levels in a plant. We know that a plant with higher Brix levels is going to fend off disease longer. not keep it from happening, but fend it off longer and definitely aid in recovery after we've treated that fungal pathogen with a fungicide. So if we elevate bricks, we're making a more robust immune system in this plant to fend it off longer. So we elevate sucrose with Terramar. We've recently discovered this. Brix levels is something we've always used to measure the health of a plant. When you measure Brix levels, most of the sugars in a Brix level is sucrose. So if we can elevate those, we're protecting our investment right here more with that. The other thing Terramar is going to do is it's going to sequester potassium. We know we need massive amounts of potassium, as I say, and we're going to take up more potassium than nitrogen, if not now, soon. So it's signaling out to our microbes, bring me potassium, I need potassium. So Terramar and Radiate abiotic stresses, relax in this plant. The other thing I've seen is I've took thermal imagery of these plants where we run Terramar and Radiate next together. We're enlarging these, what I call panels, you know, these solar panels. If we're enlarging and thickening that leaf, we're getting more water in there. What you'll see is when you do a thermal scan of this, you'll see a lower ambient temperature above these plants and down in the plants because we have more water in the leaf. So we're relaxing that plant, helping with respiration at night. So very critical for the overall health and stress of a plant. Sequester that potassium, mitigate these abiotic stresses. Other product I wanted to touch on real quick is nitrogen. Obviously, with the amount of rain we've had here in the month of June, we've had a lot of calls about nitrogen. What do I do about nitrogen? Do I fly on 40 pounds of urea, or is there a better option? Well, if I flew on urea today, I need a ½ inch of rain tonight just to get it down into the soil around the roots, which is going to take several days. Then it's going to take several days for them roots to bring that nitrogen in and move it up through the plant. Then once in the plant, it has to find sulfur to make amino acid protein energy. That's ultimately what we're trying to do with nitrogen and sulfur, make protein amino acids energy for that plant. We've discovered through a slow release product, Max Impact, with triazole nitrogen, that when we spray that on, it's in the plant within 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes, and within that package, we have amino acid protein energy in that package. So we're making energy 30 minutes after application of a Max Impact. We say often that 1 gallon of Max Impact will replace 20 pounds of soil, nitrogen in the soil. Is there 20 pounds of nitrogen in a gallon? No, there's not. But it's all about the efficiency. The faster I can make amino acid protein energy for the plant, the more that plant is going to have the opportunity to make grain faster, and we're just making a simpler cycle more efficient. So if I'm going to look at a nitrogen application, I'm going to look at a gallon of Max Impact with this. I'm definitely going to address boron, looking at 1 pint to 1 quart of those boron options, looking at least a couple quarts of potassium, if not more, depending on what your tissue test is saying, a locomotive or a Reax-K. And then if I want to get some photosynthetic energy out here and get this plant really thriving, I'm going to look at a Reax Select Plus or a Nutrien Complete with that. Last thing I'm going to address is get your water right, guys. Putting too much money out here with the fungicide and the nutritional package not to get our water right. Need 1 quart per 100 of Choice Trio, right? That's going to untie hard water ions within that mix, right? So stuff isn't binding up and sitting on the leaf, not getting in the plant, right? We have to get our water right with Choice Trio. And the last product I'm going to say is Franchise Copilot. So we're going to add that in there to get that product on and in the plant so it isn't creating large, robust molecules of water that want to roll off. We're going to spread that out. We're going to ease that leaf tension and get that down into the plant. And with that, you've got a phenomenal program that you can go out here and finish off this crop with, right? We know that we need manganese, which is in that Select Plus and Nutrien Complete. Manganese splits out water molecule, right? It's in that package. So we get a lot of calls about manganese this time of the year. So with that, I'll get off here. Appreciate you guys' business. If you got any question, reach out to us. As my favorite saying goes in Young Guns, let's finish the game. We got a great crop out here. Let's finish it off. Be safe. Take care. Thanks, guys.